What's good, y'all? It's your boy Muhammad Sanu. We here live at the Trail Report. You know what I'm saying? My boy C Hill. Y'all better stay tuned. You heard? Being talk.
So the New York Knicks have a 3-0 lead on the Cleveland Cavaliers with a chance to close it out tonight in Game 4. And this means so much to New York in my view because it's it can't be understated, put it like that. How much criticism, how much criticism or I guess you could say criticism or flack, and all of it has been rightfully so, that New York has received over the years of them not being, I guess you would say, successful. Even to the point of, as I'm sure you guys, if you're in the sports world, you probably know this cliche already. But if you don't know this cliche, there's been a thing over the last couple years for the New York Knicks, and it's been happening for had to be like years now. Um, but it's a thing of when you play for the Knicks, you play at the Mecca. You play at the Garden. You play at Madison Square Garden, right? You play at the Mecca. However, the thing was, if you're on the Knicks, that was never a good thing because if you go to a home game in your team, if you're a New York Knicks player, you would go to a home game and you would have to deal with your arena. Keep this in mind: your home arena chanting and screaming, no, not for you, but for the other team that's for the other team that's currently winning against you. So it's so much stuff that has been happening with that. Excuse me, as far as criticism that has happened with the Knicks and flag that has been kicked back on the Knicks over the years and free agency and stuff like that. The reputation they've received over time for not being back to in the finals since 1999. But they are still a big market team. It just the thing was they were looked at as almost the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, and what that means is the Dallas Cowboys they've won, right? They're a legendary organization. They've won before. They've had great players, too many to count, right? They have a great legacy. It's say what you want about the Cowboys. Hate them if you want to, love them if you want. But say what you want about the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a aura around the team and around around the supporters and fan base and stuff like that. They have a great historic aura because it is a legendary team. It's a legendary organization. However, they haven't won in a very long time. It's been they haven't won in a very long time. Very. So it's been a while. Okay, it's been a while since they actually hoisted a Lombardi trophy. Now they have them. You know, when you go to the practice facility and you go to the games, you'll see them. You know, they have them. They have won Super Bowls before. However, it's been a while since they have won one recently. So the thing that you get with the Cowboys is kind of a lot of criticism or jokes, if you will, for lack of a better way to say it, of how they're this big market team, which they are, rightfully so, but they're a big market team that you really don't go to with expectations of really winning. Now, while you go into every season, if you are a player trying to win a Super Bowl, 100%, but you don't really. It's kind of a shock if it actually happens with the Cowboys. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of a shock. Like, if the Cowboys somehow make it to the Super Bowl, that's going to be really shocking, the fact that they actually got that done. That's what the Knicks had started to become, or that's what they became over time. Great team as far as history and aura and just being a historic franchise and being one of those franchises that so many legends have graced the jersey of and so many legends have played for and so much history in that arena, everything, historic venue, all of that, great city in New York, all of that. However, they haven't won in a very long time. Like I said, they haven't been back to the finals. I'm not even talking about win, but they haven't even been back to the finals since 1999. and they've had so many great players over their history. They're still a big market team. They still get free agents. They still get attention. They still get TV games. They're nowhere near a small market team anymore. It's just they had gotten to the point to where their popularity and aura and history was kind of not cared for. Well, I wouldn't say that. They had gotten to the point to where it wasn't as respected. I get that's a better word. As respected as you would have thought it would have been, given their history, given the things that they've done in the aura, and being a big market franchise. The fact of their lack of winning over time, it kind of brought the respect value down some. But what this has done, and they will go to the. I'll go ahead and just call it now, unless something unforeseen happens, and the Cavs come back down 0-3 on some on some LeBron 2016 stuff. If that happens, then I was wrong, but I'm going to just go ahead and call it now. I love Donovan Mitchell. I love the Cavs. Nothing against them. But just from how it looks now, I'm going to say it's a great chance that in a couple, then if not tonight, then probably game 5, the Knicks go ahead and close it out. So if that's the case, hypothetically, I'm not saying that it's a given, but I just think it's very likely that either tonight or game 5, the Knicks close it out and move on to the finals. That's just my personal opinion. With the Knicks having this run of getting back to the finals, and even, let's just say hypothetically, I don't think this is going to happen, but let's just say hypothetically, somehow up 3-0, they manage to lose to the Cavs and don't make it to the finals. If that happens, now granted, that's going to be a legendary collapse, and that's going to be looked at as even more laughable for the Knicks, more comedy armor for people to kind of throw on the Knicks. But even if that happens, hypothetically, looking at their season, if you take away the ending of that, hypothetically, they still had a great season. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they were kind of this, at least in my view, me personally, they were looked at as a team that was good, but maybe not good enough that you would think they would win or be close in that matter, because they kind of always hover like around getting there, but something always happens with the Knicks. Like, they're one of those teams. Like, and knock on wood, knock on wood, make sure, don't want to jinx them or nothing. But in the past years, they were a team to where every time they got close, injury would happen. They get close, or they get injury happens, or they run into a powerhouse team, or they run into a team and then the star player starts to take a decline, or they have an injury to the role players, or the bench stops scoring like they did, or it always is some, or the other star player for the other team they're going against just happens to go off. It like always something with the Knicks happens. Like it's like they're always right there. Like they're always, most of the time, the Knicks can always end their season, in my view, saying, we aren't that far off. They can always say that. They can always say we're not far off, at least in the years past that I remember. They could have always said we're not far off. And that would have been, believe it or not, that would have been actually factual. Because that would have been the actual factual, because if you look at it, every year they made it to the playoffs and they had good runs and stuff like that, but they never could get to where you never got to the point to where you wanted to get to. Like, yes, making it to the playoffs is great. Making it to the playoffs is awesome, but let's be real. Everybody want that Larry O.B. They want that Larry O.B. trophy. That's what they want. If they can't have that, at least a finals appearance, at least. That way, yeah, you might not have won, but at least you were there. You had a chance to. Making it to the playoffs, that's cool. Eastern Conference Finals, that's dope. That's cool. That's all right. Semifinals, that's okay. But everybody wants that Larry O.B. And the Knicks were always missing that. So for them to actually be in a chance to get it done this time, image, put it like that, I feel like has done nothing but improve with this because, and so many different aspects of it, because the Knicks, like I said, they got that, in my opinion, at least for a little while, they've gotten this energy off the team to where they can't get past a certain point. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, so while they have made it there before, but they haven't done it recently. So they've made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Boom. Okay. That's perfect. It is what it is. And just, that's, they can win. They can be competitive. They can compete with other playoff teams. They can be a real threat in the in the postseason. Excuse me. So that's that. Moving on to the next kind of aura they had, or not aura, but negative criticism they kind of had around them, in my view. The winning part, if they advance tonight or whenever they advance, probably game 5, because usually, at least in my experiences, the sweeps don't go. I never really lean towards a sweep because at the very least you might win game 4, because the energy is there. The team is going to be not want to be getting swept. So the Cavs have a good chance, in my view, to win tonight, but the Knicks will probably win game 5 if they do. Anyway, the Knicks were dealing with the fact that they couldn't win. I feel like they've gotten that energy off their back now. The other criticism they had was Jalen Brunson. And I don't feel like his was deserved at all, because this is just my personal view. I have never understood, I guess you could say, the criticism or the expectations, maybe, I guess that's a better way of saying it. The expectations or lack of meeting expectations from the side of Jalen Brunson's criticism or flack or pushback that he's gotten over his career with the Knicks. I don't see the problem with Jalen Brunson. I never have, and I honestly never will. I think Jalen Brunson is a perfect guard to have for the Knicks because of his energy, his attitude, his will, like as far as his will, like his resilience on the court, like the fact that he don't stop, you don't see him really give up much. Like, he's one of those players, you shoot a 3 on him, he trying to come back down the court and shoot a 3. So he's one of those type of players. So I feel like he's the perfect point guard for them to have, The energy is there for him to lead the show. I've always felt like it was for him to lead the show in New York. I've never understood the criticism with Jalen Brunson. I don't understand the problem. Okay, he's a shorter guard. He's still 6 foot. So I mean, Chris Paul is a creditable Hall of Fame point guard at what, 6 foot, 6'1". So I mean, that never was really a concern in my eyes. I never understood the criticism with Brunson. So now that he actually has, and this is what I was waiting for, like, to kind of, for Jalen Brunson to do in his career, to kind of see if the criticism that he gets will still be there. Like if they advance to the finals tonight or game 5, whatever, I want to see if the criticism of him, I want to see, is it just the fact that the Knicks weren't winning, or was it the fact of that people just weren't rocking with Jalen Brunson? Because if the criticism like quiets down, and it's been pretty quiet from recently, but if it quiets down, like as far as people not having as much flack for him, now that he's actually going to the finals, or maybe even winning the finals or whatever, if that happens, then I know it was just a winning thing. But if the criticism keeps up, then it's just something about Jalen Brunson that people don't rock with. I think it happens to be more of the fact that the Knicks aren't winning. So kind of Jalen Brunson, the star player syndrome. You guys know what it is. The star player gets the credit when you win and gets the blame when you lose. You want to be the star player. It's pros and cons to it. Yeah, you get the praise and admiration, and yeah, you get the contracts. That's great. That's wonderful. But when you lose in the playoffs, when you lose in the finals, when you blow a 2-1, blow a 3-1 lead or 3-0 lead, whatever, lose in the playoffs, lose in finals, get hurt, whatever, you get the pushback, you get the criticism, you get the, oh, he can't stay healthy, or he's not clutch, or he can't stand up to other star players, or he's not better than this star player. He's cool, but he ain't gonna get you there. So you get all these kind of different criticisms as being the star player. So it's gotta take the good with the bad. But that's the other main thing that I think was lifted off the Knicks' shoulder as of now with the whole Jalen Brunson thing. The other thing that was the Knicks can actually take a chance to just kind of breathe a sigh of relief on. And I'm sure they probably already were doing this when they brought Mike Brown in and seen the production that he's had this season. But everyone who maybe has something off to say or didn't like the hiring of Mike Brown, whatever, the Knicks can sit back now and just be like, whew, that worked out. Like, they can just sit back and just be like, that worked out now. 2-time coach of the year for a reason. And now look at the Knicks in position to go to the finals and move on to the finals for something they haven't done since 1999. Now, whether they win or whatever, I think they have a good chance to. Whether it's whoever they go against in the finals, I think they have a good chance to win because I love the Knicks hard-working, never what's the word I'm looking for? Never like energy drops, like that never really happens with the Knicks. They like always are there. They're energizer bunnies. They're always there. They always are up tempo and trying to make something happen. Whether they're up 10, down 10, whatever. They always are energized, trying to play the game of basketball, trying to just get the win or make something happen in the best way they know how. So I love the Knicks team as far as that personally, and I know that that's all from that. You know, the players are a product of the system as well. You know, the players have to be talented enough to do that. But to that point, them bringing in Mike Brown and Mike Brown putting that battery in their backs to be able to do this and achieve the things that they've done this year, that must make the Knicks front office feel like, once again, whew, they can breathe a sigh of relief now because every criticism they heard or everything they might have felt or because don't get me wrong, front office people get nervous too, I'm sure, when they make decisions and when they make coaching hires and stuff. Don't think the fans or the supporters are the only people that get, you know, a little on the edge. I'm pretty sure the people that are actually making these decisions get nervous too because you got to think, this is their, call it what it is, this is their money. When they have these teams and bring in coaches and bring in GMs and stuff like that, this is their money. If people stop coming to the games because the team is trash, the team is losing money, which means the person who's making these decisions and owning these teams is losing money. So they feel the pressure to make these things work just as much as the supporters do. And the coaches have the pressure to perform because they don't want to get fired. So it's a whole thing. So for them to actually see the progress and see Mike Brown impact on the team and see how Mike Brown, yes, he was a 2-time coach of the year, but to also see the fact that that wasn't just a thing of the past. They saw his impact with the Knicks. They saw how he impacted the team in position to go back to the finals. Once again, something they haven't done since 1999. And I know whenever they advance to the finals, game 4 tonight, game 5, game 6, if it pushes to game 7, New York is going to explode. Listen, when that buzzer goes off and the Knicks go back to the finals, this is something that Knicks fans have been waiting to do since probably since 1999. So this is some emotion that is going to explode whenever the Knicks get it done. So for Mike Brown to actually put the battery in his team's back to do these great things and to achieve these great things this year, Brunson proving that he can lead the show effectively and actually make it mean something as they're in position to go back to the finals. The Knicks proving that not only they're also a big market team still, but also proving that not only are they a big market team, but they're still a big market team that can win and win at the biggest level in the playoffs when everyone doubted they could after so many years of falling short. It's the fact that they actually have done it and in position to go back to the finals and potentially win a Larry O'Brien trophy this year, the NBA championship. This has done so much positively for the Knicks. It's unbelievable. It is impeccable what this has done. So if they win, like I said, would win tonight, if they win tonight, game 5, game 6, if it pushes to game 7, whenever it happens, I know New York is going to go crazy. And to all my Knicks fans out there, celebrate as loud as you want to. Just do it responsibly. Just celebrate as loud as you want to. I know there's some emotion that you guys have been holding back for a while, and you 100% deserve it because I've seen from afar. I'm a Lakers fan myself, so from afar, I've seen everything that Knicks fans have went through over this tenure of being a Knicks fan over the last couple decades or whatever. It's been rough. So for them to actually provide the supporters with a team that actually has done the things that the supporters wanted them to, I know this must feel amazing. So it's going to be very interesting to see when it actually happens, how the reception is, and I can't imagine the reception if they win a championship. Oh my God! But speaking of reception, before we wrap it up, it is Memorial Day, so make sure you guys, if you're celebrating or whatever, make sure you smoke responsibly. If you're going to smoke, if you're going to drink responsibly. Be safe out there. Be safe on the streets. Make sure you're not only driving for yourself, but driving for others. And make sure, get a designated driver. If you know you're going to get into some things, get a designated driver. Make a decision not only for you, but once again for the betterment of others. So with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up right there. But just wanted to say, Knicks, great season already. But hey, finish it out, close it out. This will be a season that no one forgets. It's me, Chill, from the Chill Report. If y'all watched the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to come back next time. Before you leave, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Become one of the chillest players in the game. And I'm out. Peace.